welcome back to Open, everyone. Make sure to stay connected with us by liking us on Facebook at Open Proxnet Television. And of course, follow me too at Rhina Valentin. Our next guest is she's truly a creative. Her talents are rooted in body and visual arts. She creates everything from books, videos, puppet drawings, prints, and paintings. She's also performed at the Ailey Theater, El Museo del Barrio, and that's just to name a few. She's an educator, and her work has recently been displayed at the Three Kings Day Parade. And joining us to tell us more about herself and her artwork, please welcome Paula. I want to make sure I get it right. Polina Porras Sivolobova, right? Sivolobova.
Sivolobova.
Sivolobova. It's like we're not used to saying the 4 syllables, right? Sivolobova. I got it.
Perfect.
Welcome, Polina.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are so excited to have you, and thank you for being so forgiving on that attempt on Sivolobova.
Perfect.
Yay. All right. Well, we should share with everyone that is a Russian last name.
Yes, it is. It is. And I decided to use both of my last names. Why not?
I love it.
Yeah, that's my mom's side. I'm half Mexican, half Russian, New Yorker, of course, like triple New Yorker.
What a combination. Wow, what was that like growing up?
It was hard at sometimes because you would never fit in exactly, but I'm so used to it now. I mean, it's just part of it, and I really thank my parents. Like, wow, that's great that they met and they made me and my sisters, and that's great. It's two cultures that they're so rich. They're so rich.
And so you speak both languages?
I do.
And so having come from that background, right, because you're a New Yorker with Mexican and Russian background, how does that impact your art?
It impacts in the sense that my sense of identity is somewhat split, because that's what it is. So far, my past work has been mostly focusing on my Mexican roots, but I do bring a kind of Russian flavor, but it's been mostly on my Mexican roots and culture.
Well, I believe we have images from the Three Kings Day Parade puppets, right, which are signature. They are the signature of the actual parade. What I found most fascinating, which, by the way, it was a pleasure to meet you and to march alongside your puppets.
Likewise.
I mean, these larger-than-life-size puppets we're looking at right now are the signature of El Museo del Barrio's Three Kings Day Parade. And what I loved about learning about them is how you were able to take some of the Taino culture and fuse it into the Three Kings. Like, tell me a little bit about what inspired that.
What inspired me was basically El Museo itself. I mean, if you know that the roots of this institution is that it was a Puerto Rican institution, so I really wanted to bring that back and put it like straight, like forward into to show the Taino and Caribbean roots. And these Three Kings are about nature and the cosmos. One is a tree, the ceiba tree, which holds the ocean and holds the sky. So I really wanted to bring that Native American culture back.
Beautiful. And you could tell that there was a lot of intention put into its design. Now, where do you store them when they go to rest?
El Museo has done an amazing job to store them. That's why they're really in very good shape. I mean, they're almost 10 years old. They've been parading every year. There are special crates made for the heads and for the gifts, which are very delicate. They're paper mache. But yeah, they're still going to be up on display till the end of January.
At El Museo
del Barrio,
in the side street cafe, right?
Yeah. And after that, they go to sleep.
So people still have time to go see them up until the end of January.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So is puppetry the majority of your work lately?
It's It's been a big part, and it was basically I come from a painting background, visual arts. When I started graduate school, the very semester I took a puppetry class, the very first semester, and that really like changed my view on art and creative expression. And I had a dance background, so I that puppetry class brought many things together, which is performance, which is what I've been doing mostly for the past 10 years. I've been really active on that. And the visual aspect of like making something and performing that
Performing
thing.
it while it's being made.
Yeah.
So before we go, let's just share how that's impacted the community, how your work has been, I guess, a contribution to the community's perspective.
Well, in terms of performance or in terms
Well, I think you're a little disruptive in some of your stuff, and I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love to disrupt. I love to disrupt. I like to do things in public spaces, do participatory things. I've done many performances that are participatory. And I like to be subtle about it, but it does strike a message. And sometimes you can be more effective when you're subtle than when you're like screaming with, you know. So that's kind of my style.
Right. Yeah, it's like you don't really necessarily have to be marching to be an activist, and you can tell this activism in your work. And I love that you incorporate puppetry because now you're working with the next generation. And I thank you so much for taking the time to come here and share with us. Do you have any upcoming projects you want to share before we go?
There are many things coming up. I cannot like share specifically what it is, but more performances. I'm going back to visual arts, to creating artist books. I think that's what's coming up. An artist book that it's been like sleeping in my files, and it's about Day of the Dead. So I'm bringing my Mexican side more and more.
Awesome. Awesome. It's important. And thank you for sharing it with us and our viewers. And you guys, once again, for more on Polina, all you got to do is follow her website. All her projects will be listed there by going to polinaporras.com. All right, stay tuned because Bobby C Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.